Okay, welcome to the WAN show, ladies and gentlemen, where we have
1 hour and 20 minutes late.
I believe this may
To the
be
minute.
maybe the latest that we have ever been.
We are the whole duration of the show late.
Yes, that is a thing that happened today, and
Yep.
to be perfectly honest with you guys, the stream is still not perfect. I cannot run the intro video clip for some inexplicable reason.
We should just carry one of the chairs, and then you can like drop it partway through, right when you get in frame, and then like sit there and go like. Let it
Yeah.
keep going. We could do it.
Yeah, we could do that. It's okay. I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's just
tried.
go ahead and get this show on the freaking road
Internet.
here. Let's
Here.
get it on the road, because apparently there's a. Oh yeah, I know why there's an echo. Don't worry, you guys. We got
Don't worry
this.
about it.
Don't worry about it.
Ice 'em.
I just had the speakers on my laptop because I didn't have my my headphones plugged in for a second here. We should be all good now. Let's go ahead and talk about what topics we're going to be hitting today. Topic number 1 is the NVIDIA GeForce GTX Titan X. Titan X again. Titan X 2, if we were to take the Final Fantasy approach to this.
The way they're going with it is they're calling it Titan X Pascal.
Well, we'll get into that a little bit more later, what we both think of that. Also, Facebook wants to use frickin' lasers to deliver high-speed internet to remote areas. I approve of this simply because it involves frickin' lasers, but we'll talk more about all the rest of it later, of course.
NVIDIA also dropped to 1060 this week because apparently releasing gratuitous amounts of graphics cards all at once is a good idea. Also, owner of Kickass Torrents was arrested and is about to be absolutely screwed.
Yes, he is. All right, let's roll the intro. It doesn't work. No,
It's so far off. And see, like, you start kind of going Mario, and then you switch it.
Ministry of Supply. iFixit. So I'm running into a weird issue. I think it's a video codec related thing where every time I try and play a video file, our streaming software crashes.
Maybe iFixit could release a iFixit guide on how we can fix the stream.
I would love it if iFixit had like
a teardown guide of XSplit?
Yeah, like a teardown guide of just streaming in general.
Because we need all the other things figured out too.
At this point,
Teardown guide of audio solutions, streaming software utilities, audio monitoring, all that kind of stuff.
All the things. The lower third works. Pictures work. Videos don't work. So there you go. That's where we're at with that. I feel like I was in the middle of an explanation of why we were so late last time, and I know that we're an hour and 20 minutes late, but I'm going to explain it anyway because there is a valid reason. It was all because I was trying to fix it. So first, I took the stream computer and upgraded it from X79 with a 2-generation-old top-of-the-line CPU to X99. I used the X99 Deluxe board, which, like, our experience with...
Rock solid.
Freaking awesome board. It's probably...
How many people get that?
I hate you.
How many people get that? Can we straw poll?
I hate you.
Can we straw poll?
You go ahead and straw poll.
I'm going to straw poll.
In fact, hold on a second. I believe there actually is a Luke screen HDMI now.
Oh, what?
I was making upgrades, my main man.
That sort of makes sense.
I was making upgrades. I was doing things. I was trying to make the stream better.
Wait, is this set up? Am I going to ruin things by plugging this in?
I don't know. Let's find out. So anyway, X99 Deluxe motherboard, the most basic, like, low-speed DDR4 that I could possibly find. Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing. Yes. What just happened there? Screen turned off. It's like... X99 Deluxe, what else did I do? Right, changed out the CPU, RAM, motherboard, new SSD, because get this, as soon as I changed the hardware, I've actually seen this once before, but when I changed out the hardware, every time I booted to the existing Windows install, No USB device could be detected. Unplugging, replugging, going into the BIOS, changing EHCI, XHCI handoff, all that stuff. Nothing did anything. I even pulled it out of this machine, put it in a different machine. No USB devices. And because nothing has PS2 anymore, there's no way to even try to fix it. So I may just keep that drive forever as like a trophy of the kind of bullshit that I have to go through sometimes. So I had to reinstall the OS. I mean, meanwhile, it's like 3:15 at this point. Like, I got lots of time. I'm feeling pretty good. So I reinstall the OS. I get my new capture cards going, and I'm still my streaming software is still crashing. It's still crashing. So I'm changing out my XLR input to a different one, and it's still crashing. And I'm like, what is going on? Turns out video file, which is why I was late in the first place. And then we had issues with the audio quality on the stream, which is why we were yet another 20 minutes late. So I'm very sorry about all that. Let's find out if it was all worthwhile by switching over to the Luke screen scene.
There's nothing there. It wasn't set up at all.
Okay, just hold on. I didn't set it up. Okay, just wait.
He named the scene, and then it was just like, that's enough.
Woo!
Oh my!
Try unplugging and plugging it back in.
Okay.
Let's see. And also make sure your sound is off, because otherwise they're gonna get all your sound things.
Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
Oh,
oh God! Oh no! Oh no! Well, you can very clearly see that the yes votes are at 13%, the no votes are at 52%, and the turnip votes are at 35%.
Oh, hold on, it was a loose connection. It's a loose connection. Hold on, I just gotta tighten this up. Hold on. See, it seemed to get better there.
Oh, wow.
That's not better. Hold on, I took it out.
Okay.
Can they even still hear us?
Oh, no.
Alright, so, well, you guys get the point.
And we're never sharing Luke's screen again.
No, we will share Luke's screen again someday. I hadn't actually done that.
Not this day.
But it was not this day. One does not simply. What are we going to do, my precious?
We're going to talk about GTX 1060 as if nothing happened.
Well, yeah, let's do that.
The stream is completely fine.
All right. So original article here. Hold on. I'm gonna my screen works.
Our original article is Ars Technica and not our own review. What the heck? Come on, bro. I made a video about this.
Everyone's a critic, yo.
Oh man.
Oh wow. Colton was I think he was taking out some angst because I was giving him crap about something like last Friday, and I apologized for it after because my management technique was less than stellar on that occasion.
Okay.
But I think he's going to be trying to get back at, he can't really get back at me because I'm his boss. So he might just be taking it out on you for the next little bit.
I'm technically also his boss.
I'm kind of, actually, you couldn't fire him directly. But if you were like,
right.
Yo, Linus, let's have a heart-to-heart. I think we really need to fire Colton. He's been stealing things.
I brought him into this world. I can make him leave this world.
Yeah, I think
maybe indirectly, but
yeah, I think I would have to take your word over his. Like if you said Colton stole a bunch of stuff, and Colton's like, "Yo, go to Luke's house. It's all there." Like set up around his computer. I'd be like, "You know what, Colton? It's probably you who put it there."
So now Colton knows that there's just this thing.
And now Luke knows that if he ever wants to steal stuff and blame it on Colton, that's exactly how it's going to go down.
And all I have to do is leave it very specifically around my computer, and then I'll be like, look, this is exactly what we talked about would happen.
It's exactly what you said would happen, Linus. And you can turn that
You're
into...
just so smart.
Exactly.
You knew it would happen this way.
And how can I not believe you when you're so astute as to observe my intelligence being what it is?
Of course.
Let's talk about GTX 1060. So in a nutshell, the Ars Technica headline kind of covers it, or the byline, I guess it's called. GTX 1060 is faster than 980 for just a little bit more cash than the RX 480. What's missing from that summary is how it compares in terms of speed to the RX 480, which is, so you can't have a performance comparison to something that's not available anymore, and then a price comparison to some other completely unrelated thing from a completely different company that we don't know how it performs.
Give me a second really quick, because something that's been kind of weird in a lot of reviews, including my own, I'm going to admit this right now, because it's hard to quantify.
Okay.
I want to see if you can even buy any of them.
GTX 1060s.
Yes. So there is one GTX 1060 currently available on Amazon, and I think it's a mislabeled product. Nope, that's a 1060. There is one of them available from EVGA, so we'll see how long that lasts. And everything else that you look for when looking up 1060 is mostly 1070s. And looking at the Amazon.com prices for these things, in my video, I said that I didn't think they were going to be near the $249 USD price point because of what I saw with the 1070 and the 1080.
Right.
And I was slammed by certain people because there was an official price list released that had them closer to the $249 price point. But what I said in the video was that I didn't think that the 1060 and the 480 should even necessarily be compared that closely.
Right.
Because the 480 is $200 and the 1060 is probably going to be around $300. So looking at Amazon.com, not .ca, there is the EVGA GeForce 1060 currently sitting at $339, and there's only one of them. And this posting is from EVGA. There is a Gigabyte GeForce 1060 G1 Gaming Edition for $346.
Okay.
There is...
Are you looking at .ca or .com? .com. Okay, so U.S. pricing.
Zotac Amp Edition.
I sure wish we could share your screen right now.
$345. You could do this. It's really easy.
No, it's okay.
Basically, my point is, the prices for all these things are just like whimsical imaginations of possibility. Like what is it? My brother was trying to look at the 1080 Strix, and right now in Canada, it's like $1,300 or something.
Really?
It's just like, holy crap. What the hell? Like, these cards are in such low stock that I think what's happening is retailers are just like, well, we're sold out for forever, so we might as well just crank the price up.
You know, it's interesting because that kind of thing didn't used to really happen. I mean, I worked at a retailer for a lot of, I don't know, 6 years or something like that. And so I saw the behind the scenes of what actually goes on with a product launch like this. And, you know, the consumer, you know, loves to hate and say, you guys are gouging, you're doing this. And, you know, the reality of it would be that the Canadian dollar had dropped 5% in the last 4 days or something like that. And, you know, ultimately we were just losing money on everything that we had sold before we adjusted pricing, because we would get paid we would have to pay in US dollars, but we would get paid by the customer in CAD. So you had to kind of guess, because you're on anywhere from net 30 to net 60 terms. So in actual fact, normally NCIX was pretty darn close to whatever the normal markup was supposed to be once converted from US to Canadian, and then with, you know, a few percentage points on top so that you're actually making a little bit of money. And what I'll say about the board partners is that when it comes to the vanilla cards, they might opt not to make as many basic cards as they potentially could.
Right.
EVGA could take every single GTX 1080 that comes into the door, every single GPU, and they could put it on their lowest cost card, and they could sell them all at the lower price. Or they could, you know, at least supply some of those so that the people who want a deal on something that's not a super clock or a KO edition or an AACSX Plus or Kingpin or whatever else, so those guys can get a card if they're willing to wait a little bit. And then I would put as much of my stock as I can based on what'll hit those clock speeds into the ones that I can sell for a higher price.
Of course.
And that is the way that video card makers generally mark something up, by having a different SKU.
Right.
Not by just hiking up the price of a card. There have been exceptions, to be very clear. 8800 GT went up from the top, like from the very beginning of the supply chain to my knowledge, and I don't have any confirmation of this, so you guys don't quote me on it, but to my knowledge, NVIDIA jacked the price, and the board partners jacked the price. Colton, can I borrow you for a minute? And retailers were somewhat opportunistic on that particular card as well. And the same thing may be happening. Do you mind grabbing my power adapter? My laptop is going to die very, very soon. It's just in the main pocket there.
Yep.
Thank you.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
Also,
Yep.
I'd like to give you an opportunity to here. Can you plug that into the back of the UPS first, though? I feel like it's only fair to give you an opportunity to defend yourself because we talk a lot of smack.
Okay. What am I defending myself on?
We talk a lot of smack. In the event that it was your word against Luke's, you know, and he was saying you stole a bunch of stuff from the office.
Oh.
And you pointed out to me that actually all that stuff was on Luke's desk at home. Do you think I should believe you, who I've only known for a little over a year?
Definitely.
Or should I believe? Or should I
This guy's
believe?
a troll. Definitely believe me, but I know you wouldn't though. That's the thing. I would be so screwed. So I just gotta not piss you off to make you want to do that, and we'll be good.
Okay,
Nice,
thank you.
nice.
That actually settled it. So it turns out Luke is in fact Colton's boss. Indirectly, because we all acknowledge that Colton has to suck up to him in order to save himself. Okay,
Cool.
thank you, Colton.
Nice.
You're wonderful. We appreciate you very
Good to
much.
know. Just, yeah, it closes the door. Okay, so I did some more investigating.
Okay.
I went on newegg.com. Not only if you look for GTX 1060 is literally everything on the first page, and I think there's only one page. Every single item is listed as out of stock, but a lot of the prices are actually pretty normal, but they're all out of stock.
Right.
You can't buy any of them.
So
if you go to RX 480, same thing, or they're like computers and stuff, or completely unrelated products, which is weird. Maybe you should work on your algorithm, Newegg. When I literally type in RX 480, I'm not talking about a Mazda RX 8 air conditioning, AC cooling, parallel flow condenser assembly. That's not what I'm looking for. Anyways, one of them has stock of 2 items, and it's, let me find it again. Give me 1 second. Where'd it go? There. It's $409 for a $200 graphics card. What?
I am.
So, like, how?
I am trying to get us. I'm trying to get us an input so you can screen share because I'm personally really appreciating this like real-time shopping study.
But I'm even like mostly done. But my problem is, how am I even really supposed to compare these cards? Because at this point, one of the manufacturers could be like, it's $50. There, do your price comparisons. We win. Then you go to the store and it's like, nope, it's $400.
I hope they can hear us.
What?
Oh, okay. Okay. Hold on. I got an idea. No, that's not the right idea.
Can they hear us?
I don't know.
No video.
I don't know. Everything is scary right now. Everything is scary. Video output. I don't
We
know
can
what
hear. They can hear.
I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know if I plugged it into the right
Everyone scream along with Linus. Even though we can't hear you, just do it at home. Just
thing. Shut up. Why are you being mean to me?
No, it was Colton.
Oh, Colton.
I wasn't being mean to you.
Oh, you're right. I don't know why I didn't realize it was Colton.
So you're just so smart. That's why you ended up figuring it out, though. Not everything has to come to you immediately, because you're just dealing with so many things at once.
So I'm on a completely different level.
Yeah.
Oh, can you plug that in? That might have something to do with it.
What?
The HDMI cable for your laptop.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to. That might be part of the reason why Luke's screen capture is not.
I didn't even know we were trying to do Luke's screen capture.
Yeah. I'm trying to get you back up and running here.
Okay, so my computer has done the freak out thing, so we're ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Everything's on duplicate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. No. Okay.
Yeah. No. Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. Okay.
This sounds like a phone conversation with like that guy that just really doesn't care about what's going on the other end.
Yeah. No. Okay. Let's be back now. Oh, see, I think I was plugged into the right thing in the first place. But,
Oh dear. I think like I'm done. I think I said everything that.
Okay. Yeah. No.
No.
Okay. Well, why don't you talk? Why don't you talk 1060 now?
I was talking 1060 the whole time.
Oh, okay, you're done.
Anyways,
Fine.
it's I'll give a brief overview of what I said.
Okay.
It's very difficult.
Well, did you talk like specs at all, or do we care?
I was going to finish that part of the conversation before. Talking
Okay.
about specs.
Can I jump in with something that I had wanted
Sure,
to add?
man.
So, with respect to the pricing conversation, so Sapphire actually sent me Oh yeah, okay. The NDA lifted like 6 hours ago. Perfect.
Sweet.
So they have a Nitro Plus RX 480 because we
Okay.
wanted to talk about like how the pricing of these cards might kind of creep together depending on if you compare a low end
Or creep apart.
or creep apart
Or whatever, based
Yeah.
on like crazy pricing in different areas. But
Yeah.
my point was that usually in the US, you have the most stable pricing structure.
Yeah.
Because that's where they're making their initial pricing. But it's just complete lunacy in the US, meaning it's even more crazy everywhere
So tell
else.
me this: the 4 gig RX 480, whatever Nitro X is $220
Okay.
MSRP.
Yeah.
The 8 gig is $270. What would you buy? Do you find the
Probably-
cheapest 1060 you can find, or do you buy a high-end RX 480?
From my experience so far, it depends. Oh. Can you actually get them at that price? Because that was what I was just talking about.
Right.
Is not only is everything sold out in general, so you can't even buy it if you wanted to, but the prices of them is crazy as well.
Right.
So like the pricing that they're sending in the email, is that actually real? Because right now on Newegg, the only available 480 is over $400.
Right.
So it's where is it? Give me 1 second. I keep on losing it. Out of stock, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. Out of stock. $409 is the only one that's currently not out of stock. It's a Vision Tech card.
Okay.
There are additional pages. I haven't looked into the additional pages, but I did one entire page of products. Decided that was probably enough.
All right. So I guess so. So basically, our usual guidance remains true. Then we generally recommend sticking with the higher end card versus buying
Yeah.
a high end of a lower end GPU.
Yeah,
Okay. Fine.
but like, if you can even get it.
Let's talk high end cards. NVIDIA announces the new GTX Titan X, which they're calling NVIDIA Titan X. Now, I could probably go off. Oh, I was going to have you leave that plugged in so that I can still try things.
Oh.
I could probably go off on a rant for a good solid 10 minutes
However long you want.
about naming things the same thing that they were already named when they are a completely different product.
Or saying new
yes.
or whatever.
Or like the new, it's like everyone took everything that was wrong with shampoo marketing, and now with 33% more, 33% more than what? 33% more of what? What am I comparing this to? Is it a product from last month? Is it a product from 4 years ago? What is their 30? How do I understand this?
One thing that I do understand in terms of that naming, the only time that I think it actually made sense was Battlefield 1.
Really?
Because they went back.
Okay.
So that sort of made sense. I'm still not a huge fan of it.
But this is different. This isn't a reboot. This is a sequel.
No, I'm not saying it's okay here.
Okay, yeah.
No.
Okay, no. We're agreeing that it's not
Yeah.
okay here because there's a lot of things that are confusing about this.
Yep.
It's confusing for retailers because SEO is hard enough when you
Yep.
don't have to. Basically, the only way that I can think of to fix your SEO from old generation Titan X versus new generation Titan X is manually. Like you will basically have to go into your backend and go, okay, if Titan X created before
You know what they should
X,
do?
then do not return result before created after X. Like that's
They should replace their product pages.
the problem is that the pricing is different. The other problem is that you might be looking it up for a warranty return. The other
No, they should replace their product pages and then remake, but with the old cards. So you can still find it, but the SEO linking through Google and everything is still really popular.
That's actually a smart way to take advantage of this. I guarantee no one will do it. But and
Because you should still have your product page for the old card for warranty reasons and everything that you said.
Like NCIX, for example, I know for a fact there's no mechanism for them to do that. Like that is not a thing. That won't be a thing that they'll be able to do. So it screws over the retailer. Okay, it screws over the reviewer because it makes it so that instead of me just saying Titan P or Titan XP or PX, or if we had called it something that had made an ounce of sense, I have to say Titan X 2016 edition. Like I have to clarify.
If you gave us Titan XP, there could have been all the like little smiley face jokes and stuff.
And that could have been pretty cool, by the way.
And that would have been
way better.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, we should just call it the Titan XP from now on.
I'm down.
I'm down to do it.
I will literally call it that throughout the entire review.
I will do that too.
Cool.
We are calling it the Titan XP from now on. You heard it here first.
It is the Titan XP.
It is the Titan XP. Okay, the third person that this screws over, and the one that gets screwed over the most, is the consumer. You are basically making it impossible for the consumer to understand from reading reviews, Googling reviews, comparing pricing, what exactly it is they're buying, unless they are an extraordinarily savvy consumer who really keeps up with the industry by watching fantastic programming like the WAN show on a weekly basis. That is the only way that you will know that one Titan X is different from another more different Titan X.
Oh, someone in the chat even just said, win XP with the Titan XP.
Right?
Like, holy crap, those marketing campaigns write themselves. Why did you do this? You had such an opportunity.
I don't know. We used all the XP that we had building amazing GPUs, and we turned out this beast.
NVIDIA leveled up.
It's endless.
There's so many.
Level up your game.
Oh, it's perfect.
Oh, it's amazing. They need to rename this card.
They do.
They have to rename this card like right now.
They do.
They need to. Okay, here's what they need to do. Okay, NVIDIA, if you guys are watching, you take the Titan X 2016 editions that you have now, and you turn them into kind of like a coin with two tail sides. Like anyone who bought one or got a giveaway, right at the beginning.
Wow.
Okay, they have like this weird. It's almost like a misprint. Okay, so they have like this weird one that like had the wrong name on it. You just change all the shrouds to Titan XP moving forward. Okay, you got to retool it. I'm sorry, that costs a little bit of money. You're NVIDIA, you can afford it. And the Titan XP is the actual name of the product, and everyone's like talking about it. It would be awesome. You should do it.
That would be smart.
You won't, but you should, because it would be better for absolutely everyone, because this is really confusing for consumers, and it's totally unfair. It's already confusing enough when video card manufacturers take two of the same product and call it something different. Rebadging is terrible and confusing for consumers. Now, you're taking it a step further, and now you might have two different products that are called the same thing. You're basically just saying, I don't really want anyone to understand what it is. I want people to just walk into a store and have a salesperson sell them the most expensive thing that they can. That's the message that I'm getting from this, and I don't like it. And speaking of the most expensive thing that they can, the Titan XP is going to cost $1,200 US when it's available August 2nd directly from NVIDIA.
And my bridging point, back from the 1060 stuff is you're buying Titan X's August 2nd from NVIDIA, sure. Down the line when they stop doing that.
You mean XPs?
XPs.
Yeah,
I screwed up. I called it last generation card. My bad. I'm still in last year. What happens later on? Are they going to be $1,600? You already price hiked by $200. In the 1060 review at the very beginning, I have a chart showing how every one of their new GPUs has been price hiked by $100. This is by $200.
Now, this is something that you may not have been paying attention for long enough to know, but NVIDIA actually has not, I would say, NVIDIA and ATI/AMD, because that's how far back this goes, have not actually been that unreasonable about the way that they have done the pricing of their extreme top tier hardware. And I will explain. I will explain why I'm saying that.
I like that EVGA logo.
Because, oh, yeah, that's really old. That's back when they were EVGA.com, and it was always EVGA.com. that was like part of the branding. So let me see if I can find. So the 6800 Ultra Extreme was basically vaporware. And if you're going to build a card that you're basically saying, let me see if I can find a reference to pricing here. With benchmark. If you're building a card that you're basically saying, yeah, it's going to be available from our site only, then something. Yeah, you're basically saying like it's pretty much a vaporware card. Let me find it. You can expect to pay upwards of $600 for a card of this caliber, and we were unable to locate a retailer that had them in stock at the moment. So 6800 Ultra Extremes went for kind of getting somewhat close to the $800, $900 range. And the 8800 Ultra was actually a pretty similar story. Ultra price at launch. Let me just see if I can find it. Okay, so the 8800 Ultra was priced at $830, and that was released back in 2007. So let's use an inflation calculator. Okay, inflation calculator. I'm going to use the Bank of Canada one if that's okay with everyone. How to use, here. So we'll go ahead, we'll do this live. So in 2007, something that cost, what was it, $839?
$839.
Well, I can type a thing.
Tapa.
$839 would cost, calculate. Okay, so they weren't being unreasonable before, back when I did the math, based on that Titan X is $1,000.
Yeah.
Because, well, I mean, I'm not saying that an $839 card in 2007 wasn't unreasonable, it was. I'm just saying that
okay,
we're actually tracking okay, but they've jumped ahead by $200 this time, so you're right, and I was right. Like 2 days ago.
Okay. Yeah.
How about that? We're both right, okay?
Sure. I think the problem that people have is jumping by $100 on XX60 and XX70 and XX80 and jumping by $200 on Titan doesn't feel like an inflation adjustment. If they adjusted by little bits every time, it would feel more like inflation adjustments. Now, I understand that you don't want really weird pricing numbers on your products, but that's what people are feeling when you do that. They're feeling that one chunk jump, and it doesn't feel great.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah.
So you can actually see here that probably the last time they did this then was with the 8800 Ultra, because here's our I remember these costing more though. 6800 Ultra Extremes, they're stupid. You basically couldn't buy them. But they did a fairly significant jump there, and it looks like they've taken another leap forward in terms of the value of a GPU, like an ultimate gaming experience relative to eggs and milk once again. And I think ultimately, the person that we have to blame for this, or not person, but the entity that we have to blame for this is AMD. I'm not going to crap on AMD because they're having a hard enough time as it is with the things that are difficult for them, which is apparently everything. But if AMD was keeping NVIDIA in check, then at the high end.
Okay.
So, to be clear, 480 looks like a very successful product.
Yeah.
And AMD did I think it was a smart move, coming in and saying, okay, look, we're not going to go toe-to-toe with NVIDIA this time.
Yep, I saw that straight up in the review.
We're going to come from the bottom, while NVIDIA can spend all that money that's associated with building the biggest GPU ever, which they did.
Yep.
And they can trickle that technology down, and we're just going to build what we think is the right thing at the right price from the outset. Fair strategy.
I have a video coming, just so people know. I'm not going to go too into it because I want you to watch the video, but I have a video coming on the 480 and VR and how well positioned that card actually is in terms of performance, even more than price. How you can just get this card and be fine for what almost anyone is really going to want.
Yeah.
And then there will be percentages of people that want more than that, but it's it is a problem solver, which is exactly what they needed.
So I would have personally preferred to see AMD have a, Fury XP or whatever would go head to head with a Titan XP, because that is the kind of thing that keeps pressure on NVIDIA not to do this kind of thing. And they just didn't, they didn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still time for Polaris to go head to head with Pascal, and so I'm looking forward to that because that should at least force NVIDIA to react. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of out of stuff to say about this. Okay, there's a new Titan X, 11 teraflops, 12 billion transistors, 3584 CUDA cores, up to 60% faster than previous Titan X. Cool.
People are a little upset that it's GDDR5X instead of HBM2.
Yep. I'm a little upset, but I totally get why they're doing it. They're just kind of going, it doesn't matter, and they're right. It doesn't matter. So screw it. We're going to make a little bit more margin. Wait for HBM2 to mature a little bit. Right now, it can just be a low volume part, and we'll just keep that in our scientific computing cards. Keep that in the Teslas. Fine. So I get it. I mean, memory overclocking hasn't done anything on a video card in a very, very, very long time. And I'm sure that NVIDIA has done all the research that is required to decide if it's worth it or not. Because apparently the GPU itself does support HBM2. So they just decided to pair it with GDDR5X.
Yeah. One thing that I'm frustrated with, which almost no one is going to be able to sympathize with me for, is it's being sold on August the 2nd. We heard about it the same day you guys did. I don't have one. How am I
Feels bad, man.
supposed to review this before the release date?
We've been talking about this. So we've actually been talking about doing this before. We should review the card before we have the card.
Yeah.
Because there have been cards where Luke and I have sat down and gone, okay, card's coming. We haven't been briefed on it. We don't have a deck. We don't have any specs. We have no driver. We have no card. We have nothing. And we basically go, okay, it's going to be like this, and it's going to be like that, and it's going to be kind of like this, and here's the conclusion. And we should just release our full review of it. So we should not sign an NDA. We should not accept a review unit, and we should release a review the day before.
Oh my God.
Without a card.
That could be fun. It would be easier with a XX number card.
Yeah.
Than a Titan.
Yeah.
A Titan will be a little difficult.
Like, it's easier when they're taking an existing lineup and they're kind of slotting something in.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it would be pretty easy for us to do that with like a 1080 Ti.
Yes, 1080 Ti would be pretty easy. The 1080 would have been pretty easy.
Yep.
Except for in VR.
Yep.
The 1070 would have been pretty easy, and the 1060, like, I knew it before it even happened.
AMD cards are usually particularly easy, especially when they're the same card that we reviewed a year ago.
Boom.
480
Not
would have
480.
not.
Yeah.
They would have not been able to do it.
Had
480,
no idea what was coming.
I got to give them props. They kept that secret.
They did.
I did not know what was coming.
But yeah, like unless one shows up on like Monday.
Oh, I got so sorry. Someone asked a question. No, I did not ditch my blade. I'm working on a review of Gigabyte's Aero 14, which is kind of like what I would call, okay, don't take this the wrong way, because it's still a very expensive computer, but I'm going to call it a poor man's blade. So it's...
But that's considering that the blade is like the dude that owns a yacht. So it's not really the poor man's blade.
No,
like
it's a relatively speaking poor man's blade.
relative to the dude that owns a yacht.
Yes.
Which is like everyone.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things I like about it. There's a lot of things I don't like as much about it, but yeah. Okay, let's move on to, actually, we should probably do our sponsor spots. I can't believe we just spent like half the show on the first two topics. So first up is iFixit. iFixit recently got mad at me, and I guess during their sponsor spot is the best time to bring that up. They gave Nick crap, and Nick gave me crap because every time I pull out an iFixit kit for a phone repair or for a disassembly vlog or whatever the case may be, every time I pull one out, I pull out the old ProTech tool kit with the 54-bit driver kit, and they're just like, dude, what are you doing? You're sponsored by iFixit, and you're using the old kit all the time. And the funny thing is I take flack from the viewers about obvious product placement is obvious. iFixit doesn't want me to do that. They don't want to pay me to use the old product that you can't even buy anymore. They ain't interested in that.
Yeah.
So this is cool. I don't know if you know this, but iFixit is actually sending us
Like embroidered
upgraded
ones. Yeah, I know what you mean
ProTech
with that.
toolkits with embroidered names on them. So
Yeah.
you're getting one.
Yeah.
I'm getting one with my
Nice.
name embroidered on. Anyway, the reason that I always had the old kit was because I took the 64-bit one home. Because here I have a lot more tools at my disposal than I do at
Which is
home.
so
So I
like,
want-
and then every time we do an iFixit spot, I run around trying to find it, and then it's missing.
Yeah, no, I'd only told him like weeks and weeks after I had taken it home.
Yep.
Anyway,
Then I'd forget and go run around trying to find it anyways.
the latest ProTech toolkit has their new 64-bit driver kit, which means that you can have over 4 gigs of RAM. It's got... Sorry. It has more bits. It has more durable parts. It has a better screwdriver that's easier to apply more torque with. It's got their ESD safe tweezers. It's got the metal spudger. It's got suction cups to pull apart displays. All kinds of great stuff. It's backed by iFixit's lifetime warranty. And if you use offer code WAN on iFixit's site, you can save $5 on a purchase of $10 or more. And we should probably get that lower third updated because that is not correct. That is an old offer code. I'm very sorry to iFixit and Nick. I'm not
Oh
sorry
my
to Nick,
goodness.
but I'm sorry to iFixit. Hopefully they don't hate us forever. Actually, we may be doing like a sponsored video with them
Oh.
sometime soon, where we'll be taking
Assuming that'll be cool.
taking something apart in a really cool way and putting it back together in a really cool way.
Like for them?
Like they're like sponsoring us to do something that I've wanted to do for a long time,
Okay.
but that I've never been able to do because it's extraordinarily time consuming and expensive.
Yes.
So they're basically footing the bill for it. So cool guys, we love those guys at iFixit.
Yay.
This is interesting that no one sort of briefed me on this because I actually have clothing from Ministry of Supply that I wore last week. All the comments on the video were like, wow, you and Nick look so professional this week compared to how you guys usually look on the WAN show. And I think I screwed up the spot for them. So I
no
think we're
way.
redoing it again this week, but nobody
wow.
told me, so I don't have the clothes. But the good news is I did wear them last week. I wore a beautiful button-up shirt, and I actually was wearing pants on the WAN show for a change. Something that is not usually the experience that is going on under the table here.
Yeah, that would have been pretty surprising.
So
I'm sad I missed that.
Ministry of Supply combines performance fabrics, advanced manufacturing techniques, and tailored design to make wear-to-work clothes that are comfortable and capable. They're meant to be worn on the body, which is good because
They have to look good on the floor too.
yeah, they gotta. Wow. They're not gonna like this spot either. The products keep you cool and dry with sweat-wicking fibers, breathable fabrics, and NASA-developed phase change materials that help regulate your body temperature. And most importantly for our audience, everything is easy to care for. Throw it in the wash machine, throw it in the dryer.
That's important for me.
Woo! Wrinkle-free, even out of the bag. So it was like all folded
Okay.
up. Like Colton handed me a folded collared shirt and was like, wear this on the show today. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. I'm going to look like the biggest, like, there's a wedding this weekend, and I
Yeah,
went and
yeah,
bought a
yeah, yeah,
shirt
yeah,
at the mall on Friday. Idiot. With like creases down my shirt. Actually, it was fine.
Yeah.
So there's no risk to try. There's free shipping and returns with a 100-day hassle-free return policy. And it is the perfect gift for anyone with a birthday or a thing that you might need to give them a gift for. My notes still say Father's Day, but that is obviously outdated.
Or if someone you know has to go to a wedding on the weekend and it's coming up soon.
Yes, indeedy.
And you're like, they're not going to figure this out. So I'm going to do this for them because my name is Yvonne and their name is Linus.
I'm not going to a wedding. I'm actually going
And
to a
it's-
funeral this
and it's-
weekend.
And it has to do something with clothing myself.
Feels bad, right, man?
It does. Sorry about
Actually,
that.
I'm going to a funeral this
I
weekend.
know. I'm sorry.
I will look presentable at it, though.
I started making the joke and then I was like, crap, this is way more applicable than I thought.
Oops.
Oh, dang.
That's okay. Facebook wants to deliver high-speed internet everywhere via frickin' laser beams.
beams.
Laser beams!
Yay.
I mean, to be clear, the idea of internet with lasers is actually not that out there. In fact, your internet travels over lasers, for sure.
Fiber.
Fiber!
At some point.
At
some
some
people
point.
can be like, I don't have fiber. At some point.
At some point. If you connect to a website that is not, like, in your house.
friend hosting it.
Yeah, your friend hosting it down the
upstairs.
street.
Yeah,
Upstairs. It's like, well, actually, Linus,
I ran a internet cable to like my neighbor's house, and then we have a localized website for checking out what games we both have because Steam is like there's too much DRM and stuff. That could happen, maybe.
the worst part is someone watching our stream has definitely done it. It's like
When I was in
Twitch chat's gonna
university-
explode with like, I did it.
When I was in university,
Yeah.
I put my computer in my neighbor's dorm room because we liked gaming in there because my roommate was a douche canoe. But I had the good internet, so we ran the internet from my room out my window into his window and then would game. And when it was really cold outside, I was like next to the window, but I liked the cold, so we just keep the window open so we could keep fast internet speeds. And just
Nice.
game.
I like that you've picked up douche canoe. Because I picked up broke dick from you. So
There we go.
all right, so the system uses invisible infrared laser beams that switch on and off several billion times per second to exchange data while consuming minimal energy. So basically the same as fiber optic internet, except that it goes through the air. So Facebook is working on a means of delivering. Okay, that is basically the headline. Thank you. The project has taken a step forward after a first test delivered connection speeds over 2 gigabit per second. So according to an article penned by 4 members of Facebook's Connectivity Lab, published in the scientific journal Optica, the plan is to deliver these high-speed internet connections using laser beams to the most remote possible locations. However, high levels of precision are required to line up the laser correctly. So they have to aim the beam with precision equivalent to hitting a dime from more than 10 miles away.
So that's a cool thought experiment.
The system also needs to support temperature differences of up to 90 degrees Celsius.
See, the hitting the dime from 10 miles away thing that worries me with that is like weather
Yeah,
and other things that just,
and just
happen.
really anything that could happen.
Yeah.
Rebel insurrections.
Continental plate movement.
Yeah, like that's actually a factor at
Yeah.
a distance of 10 miles away. Like,
Yeah.
did you see that sinkhole on 200th Street?
Yeah. I have to drive.
Like, there's just a sinkhole.
What the hell, man?
Okay, in the middle of a thoroughfare.
Things just happen. The moon moves, the waters rise and lower, the continental plates shift. There's lots of things that affect the positioning of things on the planet, more than you might realize.
All right, speaking of the position of things on the planet, The Hollywood Reporter is apparently our source for U.S. looks to prosecute the owner of Kickass Torrents after arrest in Poland. Yeah, that's one of the things that's different about this laptop. It doesn't have a touchscreen. I went to zoom in and repositioned it. I do look forward to having the blade back, but this is a pretty sick notebook.
Nice.
My review is going to be very positive. All right, so the U.S. is looking to prosecute Artem Valin, alleged owner of Kickass Torrents, after his arrest in Poland. They've announced that they charged him with conspiracy to commit copyright infringement and money laundering in connection with the operation of Kickass Torrents. In a press release, the law enforcement calls Kickass Torrents the most visited illegal file-sharing website with 50 million unique monthly visitors. It is the 69th most visited website on the internet, which is so
funny.
delicious.
Oh my goodness.
And it is
Oh.
allegedly
you
responsible
find that delicious.
for enabling users to
Oh.
distribute films, TV shows, and video games valued at more than $1 billion. That's probably conservative.
Oh my.
If you value each discrete download as the full cash value of that.
That's definitely conservative if that's how you do it.
Yeah, it was very, very conservative. Apple and Facebook actually helped the U.S. in the investigation and
This is
arrest.
kind of funny.
So an Apple email belonging to Valin was found in a Whois lookup conducted by Homeland Security. July 31st, 2015 records provided by Apple showed that the me.com email account was used to purchase something on iTunes. Logs showed that the same IP was then used to access the Kickass Torrents Facebook page.
So he got caught because he bought something legitimately.
I mean, I guess if I was making...
Wow.
How many millions of dollars a month was it that they figured it was bringing in? One of the other articles that I read was I forget. It was like I don't know, $12 million a month or something obscene.
Wow.
Like the amount of money it was making was just ludicrous. The guy can afford to buy movies, music, and videos. So if he follows the usual pirate logic of I only pirate because I can't afford it, then hey, maybe it's a good thing
Okay.
he was buying things
All
on
right.
iTunes.
I just think you'd go to your own store, you know?
Yeah. Shop at your own free store. for free wares.
Yeah.
So there's an update. There's a clone site of Kickass Torrent.
That's not surprising.
somewhere on the web. That doesn't surprise me at all.
There's a change.org petition.
Yeah,
That'll work.
Currently at 14,000 signatures.
Totally.
Asking for
That's worth taking time out of your day to go
them
sign.
to release him. That is probably not going to have an effect. It's up to 15,000 supporters now. And
Good
there's
job,
there's like a
guys.
bar. It's like 9,478 more needed to reach 25,000. As if 25,000 will be any different from 25 in terms of the impact that'll have.
Yeah.
But there you go. Oh, this is good. Recode.net is our original article here. Dollar Shave Club just sold for $1 billion to Unilever.
$1 billion.
Wow. Good old Mike, who I've never actually met, but I feel like I know him because I've been pimping his razors for like
so
3
long.
years now. Good old Mike is a
used them.
billionaire. He is still going to be running the company. They were projecting more than $200 million in revenue for 2016. Dollar Shave Club isn't profitable, but he said at a conference in May that the company could get into the black by year's end. And Unilever has basically gone, okay, that's good enough for us. We're doing it. Wow. So basically, you know, he's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to keep running it. We had, you know, good synergy, you know, talking with each other. The economies of scale they can bring in will change our business a lot. And that's true. I mean, I've had people point out that Dollar Shave Club's razors can be purchased in bulk, not from Dollar Shave Club, if you don't want a weekly delivery. And the reality of it is people join Dollar Shave Club so it's set it and forget it.
Yeah.
Not so they can save 22 cents per blade or
Yeah.
whatever the difference works out to. I can't remember how much it was. I did look into it. So for Dollar Shave Club to be able to potentially, I mean, with the resources that Unilever can throw at it, they could to advertise more, to develop products faster, develop more unique products. It could end up being a good investment for Unilever, even though it's not even profitable yet.
Yeah.
And even more lucrative for Mike in the long term, because the company could bring in so much profit. So overall, hey, congratulations, you guys, and the next bill we send you is going to be double. Now that you got big boy dollars.
That would be nice. What I want them to do, I would
Yes.
really appreciate this. I don't know how they would make this work in their model or something.
Yeah.
But I want someone to make a good trimmer.
A good trimmer. Oh, good luck.
They all are terrible.
Good luck.
I spent a very annoying amount of money to just get pissed off to the point where I almost threw it like a week ago. Because like it was $100. I don't like spending money.
I know you don't.
I hate it.
I know you do.
I sat there in the store for literally like half an hour being like, I don't like this. And then eventually it was just like, okay. Because my previous one broke and it worked somewhat okay. So I needed a new one.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want it to be good. And I have all these complaints about my previous one. And this one was supposed to be good. And I bought it and it's worse. It's so bad. You might notice I have a lot going on right now because I can't return it because it's a hygiene product.
Right. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
That's absolutely how they get you.
And it's so bad, and I don't want to spend money on another one
Yeah.
because it's also going to be bad.
And you can't use a razor for everything, to
No.
be very clear.
No.
You can use a razor when you want down to the skin. You need to use a body trimmer if you want to have
Some
whatever that is.
amount, yeah. And I want razor down here and razor
Yeah.
like in here a little bit,
Yeah.
which is what I normally do. There's no point when the rest of the beard is this ridiculous. But I want to use a beard trimmer for the rest of it. And they all are terrible.
If Dollar Shave Club came out with a beard trimmer,
It would probably be fine. And I
Let's
would
hope.
use it. It wouldn't have a flashlight and whatever other stuff he says that in the thing, and that's fine. I don't even want all the crazy different, like the one I have has like millimeter control and stuff. That's not why I bought it. I don't care.
I just want it to cut hair.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of just wanting to cut hair, Gorilla Glass 5 is coming, and it's more shockproof than ever. The original article here is from TheVerge.com. It is meant to survive epic smartphone drops.
Dang.
And then this is great. Filing this from a cracked phone. Good job, Lauren. So yeah, in a nutshell, blah, 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 blah.
Says it'll survive 80% of the time when dropped from 1.6 meters.
That's really high.
That's pretty freaking good.
Wow. So waist height to shoulder height is kind of what they were targeting here. They figure 2/3 of smartphone drops happen from that height. Internal
That's probably accurate.
research done by Corning showed that 85% of smartphone owners have dropped their phone at least once in the past year. The survival rate was achieved in tests with pieces of glass that were 0.6 millimeters thick, and they make glass as thin as 0.4 millimeters. So smartphone OEMs that opt for thinner glass may see different results.
So that's about 5¼ feet.
And to be clear, it does not account for corner drops. The testing was done dropping flat on its face. So as phones continue to have smaller and smaller bezels, I'm not sure if there's actually much that Corning will be able to do to address that, but hey, they got to release a new product at some point. Gorilla Glass 3 sat there as the king of the hill forever, and Gorilla Glass 4 is kind of getting long in the tooth, so now 5. With more drop resistance in a configuration that only Samsung Galaxy S8 Active is likely to use, because everyone else thinks phones have to be like, you know, corset thin.
I like the active line. I'd rather things were like that.
All right. On the subject of Kickass Torrents, our original article here is from Techno Buffalo. Witcher 3 Studio talks piracy, says it was an irrelevant factor. These guys really do love to be popular, don't they?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you it was a relevant factor, but they just love taking what all the other game devs are saying and being like,
You know what? But that's a positive and
is.
smart way to go about it.
it is. They get
Because
so much good press.
I love it too. They go with this. The privacy factor is irrelevant because we can only convince them to do it. We totally believe in carrot, not the stick. So they're being like, we're the nice guys. Love us.
Yeah, love us and give us your money.
They are doing all the nice guy things.
Yep.
They're not saying this stuff and then...
And then loading up, you know,
Yeah.
Stardock and whatever,
Yeah.
like 8 different levels. Games for Windows Live.
Terrible. Yeah. So they're doing it all right and then saying these things and I guess correctly getting credit for it. So awesome. Also, I think Witcher 3 is the highest rated game ever on Metacritic right now.
Yeah,
or
you sent
something.
me Hangouts the other day.
Yeah.
That's
So,
bananas.
Doing good. Hell yeah.
All right. Elon Musk reveals part 2 of the master plan. The funny thing about the original master plan, and he says this in the part 2 master plan, is that Tesla's business model, for anyone who's ever like doubted it or told them they were stupid or said that they're bad people for making only cars that
Was
ballers
always
can
in the
afford,
original master plan.
it was always on their site. And he's like, I wrote this so that people wouldn't criticize what we're doing. It didn't work. Oh well, here I go again. Revealing the master plan.
The thing is, though, he does say that, and he says it was like nearly useless or whatever. But he has had his like cheering squad who did read it,
Yes.
and he has been able to use it as a counter argument.
Yes.
So it has served him in a way. I think just not nearly as much as he.
Not as much as he hoped.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you kind of go, okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna go full transparency mode with my customers or my viewers or whatever else. And you know what? Sometimes it works. I took a lot of internal flack over Honest Answers episode 2. How does LMG make money? Where I had people telling me, look, like, why are we talking about this? We're just opening up the doors for people to criticize us for making money, something that people love criticizing us for.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry that we're a
But
business,
not Twitch streamers.
and I'm sorry that we make money. I'm not sorry at all. And that was the point of Honest Answers. Here are the ways we do it. I want you guys to understand how we do it so you understand what motivates us, what drives us. And what drives us is content for you guys, because ultimately we will make no money if we don't have you. So we actually do read a lot of the comments on our videos. I read probably 95% of the comments that are posted on one of our videos in the first day.
I claim that I don't, but I do.
And you know what? So does Nick. And so does Yvonne. And so do the editors. And so does John. So does Dennis. We all care. We really do care. And we are not going to throw away our audience over, you know, NVIDIA or Intel or Microsoft or any gigantic corporation that can write us a check, because a check is a one-time thing. An audience is something that we can continue to engage with and interact with, and that we can continue to show brands, hey, we've got all these guys that we're talking to every day. If you want to reach these guys, you got to talk to us, and you got to do it regularly. So that was why I went, okay, I'm gonna go like full transparency mode here. Sometimes it works, and honestly, that seemed to work really well.
Yeah.
People seemed to really get what I was trying to say, and they understood the point of what I was doing, and it didn't turn into a negativity poo storm. Okay, so sometimes it doesn't work. That was kind of where I was going with that.
But yeah.
Anyway, here's the TLDR of part 2 of the master plan. Create stunning solar roofs with seamlessly integrated battery storage. Expand the electric vehicle product line to address all major segments.
Including semi-trucks and other trucks. And
I wish there was a minivan, because I just bought a gas minivan.
Yeah.
Develop a self-driving capability that is 10 times safer than manual via massive fleet learning. Enable your car to make money for you when you aren't using it through ride-sharing programs. And probably they have other creative ideas.
So once it's able to automatically drive, not only will you be able to summon it, but you'll be able to go like, hey, little buddy car thing, I'm at work. Go just like drive people around and make me money.
Yep, go back to my house where I'm not paying for electricity because my roof is covered in solar cells. And then when you're done with that, go and pick up some dudes. And
Or
take them to some
recharge at a
places.
Tesla station because that's also free.
Yep. Well, it might not be able to do that. Oh, I guess it probably could do that automatically. Yeah, well. Oh, man. Pretty excited.
The car will probably be able to talk to the Tesla station. The car will park exactly where it needs to, and then it'll just... Blip. Wonderful.
All right, so this is a phone that I was actually planning to review, and then I ended up sending back when I realized that the $99 price point is a little bit deceptive.
I want to say one quick thing before we keep going forward.
Yes.
I'm sure there's people, I haven't looked at all, but I'm sure there's people in the Twitch chat going like, if it goes and picks up people by itself, they're just going to like trash the car.
And that's possible.
It's probably going to be a Uber-style app thing that you have to use, and your credit card will be attached to it, and they'll have IDs attached to it, and if you screw up the car, they'll just wreck you.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's probably fine.
I mean, probably stuff will happen.
Yes.
Definitely
but-
stuff will happen.
Yeah,
But
it will.
for the most part, maybe it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure that they're going to, I'm sure they're going to make it kind of smarter than we're thinking. You know, like you could probably have like a trusted list of people that you're willing to share your car with even.
Oh, that would be like family and friend rides.
Like you could have probably
this
different
is acting
tiers.
like a tax.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like you could decide what level of sharing you want to do, and you could treat it like a
sense.
social network. So you could say friends of friends are okay.
Yeah. So if you need to borrow your buddy's truck, and he has a Tesla truck, and you have a Tesla car, you can like send your car off to him for the day, borrow his truck for the day,
Yep.
and then switch back later on.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Like-
you don't even have to worry about your buddy crashing your truck because he doesn't know how to drive it.
Yep.
Because the Tesla
it
thing is
drives
going to
itself.
drive it for it.
Yep. So like there's all kinds of cool stuff, and like
They're going to have to make Tesla trailers.
oh man, that's treating it like a social network. I like that.
That's smart.
Like that would
That's
be
really
so
smart.
cool. Anyway, back to the ZTE Zmax Pro. It is a $99 phone, which absolutely blew me away because it has a 1080p IPS display. It has a Qualcomm processor. So it's not a Snapdragon 820, let's be realistic, but it is Qualcomm. It's not MediaTek. It's got 32 gigs of storage, 2 gigs of RAM, 3,400 milliamp hour battery. Like it's pretty freaking impressive. 6-inch display. It is missing a couple things. It does not have dual band Wi-Fi, 2.4 gigahertz only. It does not have NFC. There was one other thing that really irked me. And so I was going to review the crap out of this. I was like, oh my goodness, I've got this in my hand. I'm like, ready. And then I realized it's MetroPCS, like I couldn't put my SIM in it. It wasn't unlocked. And they wouldn't even ZTE wasn't able to unlock it for me because you have to have it active on a MetroPCS plan for 90 days in order to get the $100 rebate. Now,
I'm so excited for Tesla trucks.
at the prepaid, okay, yeah, and it will remain at $99. This is not just an intro promo. So, okay, very impressive phone. If you are looking for like a prepaid phone carrier and you just need like a cheap device, and then you want to like port it over to a different carrier later, have a look at which bands it supports, double check, make sure it supports the bands of the carrier of your choice. But I would highly recommend it based on the price. At 99 bucks, it like felt good. I didn't test out the camera much, so I wouldn't expect it to be anything special. but it blew me away in terms of the rest of the functionality at $99, with NFC being a bit of a bummer and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi being like a pretty big bummer. I had the phone, actually. Jake shipped it back to them today because I was like, look, I'm not reviewing this. I'm sorry. I thought it was 99 unlocked. That's why I was like so excited. Now I'm just like a little bit excited. So I'll cover it on WAN show and I will hold up the phone, but I can't because Jake's too efficient.
Way to go, Jake.
Way to go, Jake. You jerk. I think that's pretty much all that I've... Oh, actually, no, I want to do this. arstechnica.co.uk. Wearable maker FitBit must face lawsuit over sleep tracking claims.
They are just getting wrecked.
I mean, let's talk about fitness trackers for a minute here. I know Luke has a piece planned where he's going to be comparing a bunch of different
I don't think I want to
trackers.
say anything. Should I say anything about it yet?
No, because I don't know anything.
Okay.
And if you don't weigh in, then you don't have to like hold anything back, and I can just say whatever, and you can just sit there poker face, and we won't know how true or untrue any of it is. But basically, my experience with fitness trackers is that they spit out meaningless numbers, and due to battery life constraints, are not able to actually perform the functions that they claim to perform. Things like sleep tracking for a device that I have to take off even once or twice a week to charge at night is just stupid because it's not actually getting the whole picture. And I haven't even looked at any of my notes on this yet. So class action lawsuit accusing Fitbit of misrepresenting the ability for it to track sleep, and it can move forward, says a federal judge. The San Francisco federal lawsuit claims Fitbit materially misrepresented their packaging of their Flex product to track users' hours slept, times woken up, and sleep quality. The suit alleges false advertising, unfair trade practices, fraud, and other claims. Yeah, it could still be dismissed, but I mean, they're at some point, fitness tracker wearable makers who, for the most part, as far as I can tell, are just kind of not doing enough R&D on all of this stuff. We're going to get taken to task, and it looks like it's happening now.
I'm just going to... What I'll say for now is that I think you're pretty close.
End of an era. Oh. Original article from CTV News. Japan to manufacture the last ever VCR this summer. So if you want a VCR, brand new, now is the time to get it.
I wonder who's going to get the last manufactured VCR ever.
Funai Electric Company is the last remaining Japanese manufacturer of VCR devices. They've sold under various names like Sanyo in North America, and they've been making VHS recorders since 1983. They've reported sales of 750,000 video recorders worldwide in 2015. And this is pretty much it. There was actually a pretty good summary of what VHS was for those of you who are fairly young and don't really remember it. But going back in time, Philips and Sony presented their first reel-to-reel videotape recorders in the 1960s, and the first home devices followed in the 1970s and were actually showcased at CES. Several formats sprung up over the years to compete in the consumer market: Sony's Betamax and the widely adopted VHS developed by JVC. It launched officially in 1976 with the first compatible recorders released in Japan before rolling out worldwide. VHS cassettes could record between 30 minutes and 5 hours of video footage, and over time, VCR recorders were even capable of doubling this capacity, recording up to 10 hours on a single cassette. Although considered better quality, Betamax never managed to rival the VHS format. And actually, at the end of 2015, Sony announced it would stop selling Betamax cassettes commercially this year as well. It's over, an end of an era, and actually that leads us into yet another topic that we really have to cover, an era that just won't end. The WRT54GL.
How many have you owned?
How many have I owned? I have never owned one.
Or bought for someone else?
I bought one.
Okay.
That's it. I bought one for someone else, and that's it.
In terms of recommending at a store that I worked at, my number is, I don't even know.
Oh, if we want to talk about that, mine's a lot higher.
Yeah, probably. That's true.
Yeah.
But ludicrous amounts, and I've bought for myself or like friends and family, I think 4.
So it was released in 2005, which when we talk about in terms of technology products is ridiculous.
Yes.
It's a 54 megabit per second router. It's wireless G. I mean, it's not even dual band. Like, why do people still want this? Well, the open source firmware, the reliability make it attractive. You can buy a new router for less money. Get the benefit of modern standards, expansion into the 5 gigahertz band, and data rates more than 20 times higher. So the 54GL costs around $43 US on Amazon. But despite this, people are buying it in large enough numbers that Linksys continues to earn millions of dollars per year with it. This is a great quote. Linksys global product manager Vince LaDuca, told ours, "To be honest, it somewhat baffles my mind. But we'll keep building it because people keep buying it." Wonderful. All right, so I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you very much for tuning into the WAN show this week. I'm sorry it was late. I think based on how smoothly the stream has gone since we started it and got the audio fixed, that I'm basically not going to touch anything, and hopefully we will be good to go next week.
That strategy has definitely worked for us in the past.
And it has also not worked for us at times in the past.
Ever.
That
was my point.
Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Bye! There's no intro. Carrying a couch. Linus drops the couch and laughs. I keep going with it. We sit down.
I laugh.
There's not that big of a delay between you laughing and dropping the couch.
Yeah, I think it's funny immediately.
iFixit.
We're sitting on the couch together. We move a little bit on the couch.
Oh my god, we can't make graphics apparently.